Hey, welcome. Just to do a quick sound check, make sure everything's good, looks and sounds good. Awesome. Okay. Thanks so much for joining us today. Recommended props, blanket. If you have a strap, you can do without. If you have a block, you can also do without. But I recommend. Okay, staying with your feet about hip width apart, we'll do our bacang gong just to loosen up all the tendons before we get into the thick of it. So, looking to the right, come on the balls of the feet. And look center, and down. Looking left, come up. Center, looking right. Center, and left. Back to center. Keep the heels down, look up. Center, down. Center, up. Center, down. Back to center, then head to the right. And left. And right again. This time take your chin up a bit. Down a bit. To the center, over to the left. Chin up a bit. Down a bit. Back to the center. Half circles with your head. Thumbs in a light fist. Elbows bent. Roll the shoulders back. And forward. Fingertips to the collarbone now. Please roll the elbows forward. Try stretching the upper back. And then reverse, opening the heart. And release. Now shifting to your left foot, lift the right. Shift to your right, lift the left. So on, a few more. Okay, and back to center. Now big arm circles forward 3 times. And then back. Okay, thumbs in light fist, elbows out, circle in at the elbow joint. Other way. then interlacing the fingers, wrist rolls. Other way. And some waves. Reverse. Rub the palms. Hands to the kidneys. Take the hips around. Other way. And back to center. Shift your left foot, right leg comes across and opens out 3 times. And that same leg inwards. The other leg opening out. And inwards. And heels together, toes together, rub the palms. Bend the knees, rub the knees. And keep them together, take them around. Other way. Standing up, ankle rotations. Other way. Other foot. Other way. And heels together, feet angled out, lift the toes, relax the arms, and gently twist. And back to center, heels out, feet parallel, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, ground yourself and rock gently forward and back, keeping the feet flat. Back to the center, finding with one leg with both arms and the other. Okay, and then to finish, we shake it out with a little jump. One more time. A little jump and shaking it out. Great. Okay, please find your way to kneeling position. And from kneeling, we're going to go right into a puppy pose. So you slide the hands forward, keep hips over the knees. And puppy pose. And hands in, coming up, cat-cow for a few tilts. Back to neutral, bring your hands forward, and then hips forward, kneeling push-up position. And slowly lowering down from there. Let's reach the left arm out, we'll open up the shoulders. Left arm out, right side of the body up. Taking them back to flat. Left hand in, right hand out, and peeling up the left side. And coming back to flat. Both hands in beside the chest, elbows back, neck long, curl up to light cobra. Then from there, pressing up to all fours. Now please tuck the toes under, keep a deep bend in the knees, come into a very deep, deep bend, downward dog. And then start to walk the dog. See if you can straighten a little bit from there without losing the length in the spine and arms. Then inhale, please come forward to kneel, to push up or kneeling push up. Okay, and then back, downward dog. From here, heels up, heels down, heels up, heels down. And heels up, bend the knees, look forward, step, walk, jump to the top. Inhale to flat back and hold here. Uttanasana. And your Uttanasana might be up here like me. You might be all the way down at your ankles. But we want to keep the low back curve intact. And from here, bending the knees, ragdoll forward, lie over the thighs. Okay, then fingertips down. The right foot forward, take your left foot back. Low left lunge. Now keep your back heel pressing back as you lower your back knee. Sink the hips forward and see if you can come up onto the thigh. You might even reach up high. Now you might even lift up in the back knee. Now lowering down, lower your back knee, bring your foot wide, arm on the inside, hips forward for lizard gecko pose. Might be able to get your elbows to the floor, or you might just bend them a little. And then from here, walking the hands back, keep your front foot flat, shift your hips back. Runner stretch, really reaching forward through that right big toe. The more you tilt forward, the more stretch you get in the hamstring. And coming forward, hop the back leg forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, send your right leg back. Starting with a low lunge. And lowering your back knee, keep the back heel pressing back. Sink the hips forward, up onto your thigh. Tuck the tailbone, you might reach up. Holding here, you might lift your back knee. And floating the hands down. Scoot your left foot left. Hand on the inside, hands forward. Bend the elbows back for lizard. Neat way to use a block, like so. You want. You're pressing up, keep your front foot flat, shifting back. Really reach forward through your left big toe. All right, and then hop the back leg forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. Firm the legs, inhale, sweep wide and up. Palms to the heart. Namaste. Okay, take a little break, get a little sip of water. When you're ready, we're going to start with a wide stance on the mat. 1 second. Okay, you take a wide stance. Now, if you have a yoga block, you might benefit from having it behind your right foot. If you have 2 yoga blocks, you could put one behind both ankles. I happen to, so I'm going to do that. So you can do this without blocks as well. I'll show you. But from here, you start by turning your left toes in, right toes out. Reach up, tone the back leg, and then exhale on wide, warrior 2. Your back kneecap toned. Now straighten your front leg. Keep both kneecaps toned, reach forward. And we can't go any further forward. Bring your hand down into position against the shin. Left arm up, or if you have a block, you could go hand on the block. Triangle pose. And anchor from your back leg. Inhale, draw yourself up. If you have a block, bring it with you. Right toes in, left toes out. Nice wide stance. Tone your back leg, inhale, exhale. Bending into the left side. Warrior 2. You straighten the front leg, reaching forward. Bring the hand down into position. Triangle pose. Anchor from your back leg. Inhale, coming up. Hands to the hips, left toes in. Now interlacing behind. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the heart, toning the legs. Lying forward or hinging forward. Rounding forward, draw your arms over top if it's comfortable. Palms together to work harder. And inhale. Tuck the tailbone coming up. Now bring both heels in halfway. Interlace in front, but reverse interlace. Turn the palms forward. And then knees wide, arms up. Now there's a post in front of you. Inhale, grab the top of it. Exhale, press it into the solid ground. Pressing up, bring your hands just above the knees, then rest the weight of your upper body into the legs. You might shift a little side to side. And then hands down, sit down nice and low, and then you might shift side to side in Skandasana. You can try the heel up version if you like. Careful not to bounce. There is an exercise like this where you bounce. In yoga, we don't do a lot of bouncing. Back to center. Walk your hands forward. Please turn the heels back. Wide-legged downward dog. And hands in, flat back. See how much you can hinge that flat back forward and then hold. Pressing up. Bring the feet in. Front legs inhale. Rising up. And bring it in the rest of the way. Shake the legs out a little bit. Now we're going to go through sun salutation. Let me show you when we get to downward dog. Let me show you too, one way that you can use your blocks if you struggle with downward dog. You can do downward dog with your hands on blocks and it puts more weight in your legs, so it's just easier to hold. But anyway, ignore the blocks for this, but we're going to take down dog. We're going to take one leg up, scissor position, hold, and then first two toes grab the back of the heel and drop it down. And when I use blocks, I can actually reach my heel to the floor where I normally can't. And we'll do the other side, of course. So feel free if you want to try blocks, you can. But it's usually done without. For mountain pose, grounding through the feet, please inhale, sweep wide. And then exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step, walk, or jump back. You could go right to down dog or through the vinyasa. And when you're in the downward dog, please bring the feet a little closer together. Take the right leg back and up. Hold. Try to keep the hips flat and the legs straightening. Then use your first two toes on your right foot to grab the left heel and draw it down. If your heel touches the floor, take it a little to the left. And then right foot down, left leg back in scissor formation. And then use the first two toes to grab the right heel and drop it down, maybe a little to the right. And re-engage both legs. Bend the knees, look forward, step, walk, or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Front legs, inhale, sweep wide. Exhale, namaste. Now, if you can do tree pose in half lotus, you might do half lotus forward fold. Otherwise, just regular tree pose is good. So this is our tree pose. This is our half lotus tree pose. If you can do half lotus tree pose, you might forward fold, maybe using blocks. But stay upright if you're just in regular tree. Inhale and release. Okay, other side, it might just be regular Virksasana holding there, finding a position of challenge to balance in, or you might come into half lotus. If you can do the half lotus, you don't have to forward fold, but you might. Inhale and release. Okay, shaking it out. Clear the mat there. Okay. Oh yeah, so starting towards the top of the mat. With the feet hip width apart, hands on the hips, roll the shoulders back. Now tone the legs and hinge forward. And then round forward. Ideally with legs straight, see where you can reach comfortably, maybe your ankles, maybe your big toes, maybe palms up under your feet from the front. Try not to fall on your heels, but also try not to grip with your toes. And please from here, bend the knees, sitting back, reach forward, chair pose. And straighten the legs, fold over to the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step, walk, jump back. You can go right to down dog or through the vinyasa to work harder. Now please, once you're in the down dog, bring your feet a little closer together and bring your right leg up and over. Use the extra weight in your left foot to drop your heel a little lower. Then swing your right leg all the way forward. Turn the back heel down. Inhale to rise up to warrior one. Please straighten your front leg. Bring your hands behind you in prayer position pointing down, or the more challenging prayer position pointing up. And leading with the heart, come to flat back forward, or lying over your leg if you're really flexible. Okay. Inhale, coming back upright. Releasing the arms to airplane wing, bend the front leg, slide up, toppling tree, or coming into warrior three or airplane. Bring your hands down, your back leg up for standing splits. And then stepping back with both feet, you could go straight to down dog or through the vinyasa to work a little harder. And feet a little closer together, please take your left leg up and over. Use the extra weight to drop your right heel. And swing your left leg all the way forward. Turn your back heel down for warrior one, rising up. And straighten your front leg. Bring your hands behind you, palm down. Sorry, palms, fingers down, or palms together, fingers up. Square to the front, leading with the heart, tilt forward, Parsvasana. Now coming back upright, releasing the arms down to airplane wing, bend your front leg, and then slide a step forward into toppling tree or into airplane or warrior 3. Then bring the hands and back leg up to standing splits. And stepping back, leg back. You go right to downward dog or through the vinyasa. Next exhalation, bend the knees, look forward, step walker, jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sit low, reach forward. Then exhale, press the legs straight, palms to the heart. Okay, shake it out. Next, we're going to do Revolve Triangle. I like to do this one just on its own. It's a bit of a tricky pose. I also like to use 2 blocks for this one, but you can do it without blocks, of course. It just helps with alignment. So right foot forward, left leg back. If you're using a block or blocks, they'd be in front of your left foot, beside your right foot. Square up to the front, right hand, right hip. Left hand reaches up, and then a rainbow arc, curve down without rounding the spine. Keep spine long. Now please bring the right shoulder up. Make sure your back heel stays down. You might reach up or stay with the hand on the hip. And unwinding from there, anchor from your back leg. Inhale, and come up. Stepping forward. If you're using a block, slide it over to the other side. Now left foot forward, right leg back. Back toes turned in a bit. Hips square to the front. Left hand, left hip, right hand up. And nice arc, rainbow arc down to the support. It could be block, floor, or shin. And keep the left hip back to the left shoulder up. Keep your back heel down. Could reach up or stay here. Unwind. And anchor from back foot. And draw yourself up. Bring your feet in. Okay. Blocks into the side. Take a nice wide stance again. This time we're going to forward fold. Nice deep forward fold. We're going to grab our big toes. Some people prefer to grab the ankles. That's okay too. Traditionally, it's grabbing the big toes. So roll the shoulders back, lift the chest forward, folding. Culmination of our stretches. See if you can grab your big toes or your ankles and go deeply forward. And release. Inhale, come up to flat back. Now walk to the left. Turn your left toes out, your back heel up. And now you're in a left lunge position. From here, lower your back knee. Now you have the option of doing hip opening lizard, where you take your left leg and open it wide and hinge forward. Or coming into Hanumanasana, which is the splits. If you have a block, you might sit down on your block in splits. Okay, so Hanumanasana like this, or hip opening lizard if you prefer. Either one, you try to have the hips squared to the front, couple more breaths this side. Then we're going to walk to the right with our hands to do the other side. So from here, walking around to the right, pivoting as needed. And now we're in the right lunge, lower the back knee. You might choose to come into Malasana, the deep splits, or you could do hip opening lizard. Okay, pressing up. And let's walk around to the left side, and we're going to go into left side king pigeon. Left leg back, hips square. And you could stay upright or in bowing pigeon. Okay, let's change. So I can just go back through a downward dog and then take the right leg forward to right side king pigeon. Square to the front. You could be upright or in bowing pigeon. Okay, and find your way back. Downward dog, and then into Malasana, our garland pose. I find a lot of people, the first time they do this pose, it's really challenging, but if you do it regularly, you can notice a big change in this pose before long. Now maybe coming into a crow pose, if you're so inclined. No pressure, make sure to do it only if you feel safe. And please come to a seated position, mid-mat. Get your hold behind your hamstrings. This is boat pose. Extending your arms, chest lifted, feet up. Maybe reaching forward. Maybe legs forward. And then flat feet together, knees wide. Baddha Konasana. Okay, now kitchen hold of your big toes. Balancing on your 3 points. Start to stretch the legs forward. Maybe legs wide. And then coming down into Buddhista Konasana, seated wide-legged position. See, I'm nice and tall. Now, I'd like to show you some new versions of these next poses. Unfortunately, it requires, for 90% of people, you'll need a block if you are to give it a try. If you don't have a block, there's just some things you just aren't able to do, so you just have to do the normal version of the pose. So the pose that we're going to be doing is a version of Janu Shirshasana. So if you don't have a block, it's the usual position. right leg's tucked in like tree pose, and we're stretching towards the left leg. If you do have a block, you come to a seated position on your block with your left leg forward and your right leg tucked beside you beside the block. Okay? Either way, get into one of those two positions and sit up tall, square to your left foot, hinge forward so you can grab your ankle or your foot. Now, if you're in the first position, you won't be able to do this. If you're in this second position, you could try lifting up your front foot. This is called Asana. Okay, release. Now to switch sides, it's usually best to take the foot in over the block. Other side. Right leg forward. Left leg could be in that tree position or in the back position as in the Virasana. Stand tall, square to your right foot, then hinging forward in the hips so you can catch hold of your ankle or foot. And if you're in this pose, you could come into this one. Grab your toe or hand, toe or foot. Often people use a strap for this too. Not spend too much time because I know a lot of you don't have blocks. Okay, and then releasing down there, and take that foot in, block out of the way. Okay, now please take the left leg forward. The right leg is across. You might tuck your left leg in too, or keep it forward. Either way, the right hand's behind you. Squeeze your right leg in with your left arm and gently twist to the right. Release. One. That side, other side. Legs tucked back, left leg across. Okay, sitting up tall, gently twisting to the left. Again, your right leg might be forward or tucked in. Okay, unwind from there. Okay, bring the feet flat and parallel. Sit right forward and then lie back. Bend the elbows. Press the back of the elbows on the floor. Tuck the tailbone and roll up into little bridge. And slowly lowering down. Okay, hug your knees in towards you. Now keep hold of just your right leg. Extend the left leg down along the floor. Wind relieving posture. Now flex your toes towards you on both feet. Interlace the fingers behind your right hamstring and press up towards the sky. If you have a yoga strap, you could use that here. Just put the strap over your foot. And taking the leg out to the right side. Again, you could use the strap or just hold your leg, back of the leg. pressing out of both heels continuously. Inhale, come back up to center. Keep the hips flat. Take your leg a bit over to the left. And let the right hip come up into a gentle twist. Okay, come back to the center. Bend that right leg. Now hugging in your left leg, extend the right, point the toes down on both feet. Wind relieving posture, left side. And flex your toes towards your knees on both feet. Interlace behind your left hamstring, press into the hands as you push your leg up. You might not get it straight, but it should be straightening continuously. Take your leg out to the left side. Back to the center. Hips stay flat. Go a bit over to the right. Just isolate the outer left hip and IT band initially. And try to keep that stretch as you continue into the twist. And back to the center. And hugging the knees in, this time knees wide. Please catch hold of the ankles or the feet for happy baby. Now either you could do a happy baby leg stretch, or if you're comfortable, if you're able, you could come over into plow. Do be careful if you're doing plow. Ideally, you want to be able to get your feet to the floor or have some support to where your feet can reach. You don't really want to be dangling in the air with your legs. And then from here, press, roll down if you're in plow. Press the feet up in Karani. If you want to move to a wall, you could. If you want to add a little height under the hips with a block, you could. Okay, anytime now, you can come down, finding our final relaxation posture for a few minutes of deep relaxation. Remember, this is in some ways the most important part of the practice. It's definitely an important part, not the most. So take at least 25 deep breaths in stillness. And please take your time, no rush whatsoever. You can stay as long as you like in the pose. A good sign that you've mastered the poses if you can stay for 3 hours with great peace and relaxation without moving. It's a pretty tall order though. It gets very intense after the first hour. Anyway, I wish you all the luck in your practice and your Shavasana and everything else. Thanks for joining us today. Keep on showing up on your mat. Thank you. Namaste.